Jim Wilson, my House Leader. And I want to start this morning by talking about someone who I met just last week when I was in Brantford. His name is Scott. Scott ran a small construction company. And Scott told me that when the Liberals came into office, he had 9 employees. Today, after years of energy bill increases, more red tape and higher taxes, he has none. The problem is we have tens of thousands of Scots across the province and now 1 million people out of work. And I hear stories like that wherever I go. And it's why I've been pushing the Premier each and every day to come forward with a jobs plan, to put people like Scott and his employees back to work across this province and give hope to our young people who are still back home with mom and dad. We've yet to see that plan. That's why Ontario needs a government that will implement a turnaround plan to get us back on our feet. My team, we've got that plan. It's called the Million Jobs Plan. So let's get going. So today in the legislature, we're tabling a motion calling on the Liberals to bring their budget in by March 31st. And if they don't have a jobs plan by then, they can use ours. But if they choose not to act at all, they'll face a confidence motion. Because if Kathleen Wynne can't face the facts and take immediate action for people like Scott, then she should face the electorate. Because enough is enough. It's time to bring in a turnaround plan. We need a Premier who's willing to tackle the problems head on, to be decisive and clear-headed with where they want to go in the province, to get Ontario back on track. And avoiding tough discussions and piling up the debt, that means Ontario won't get back on track and we'll lose even more jobs. Jim, you want to add to that?
Thanks, Tim. The Liberals and the NDP have put their own political interests first by pushing off the budget date. They care more about keeping their jobs than creating new ones for the more than 1 million people out of work. Municipalities, universities, schools, and hospitals can't plan their own budgets until the province has put forward its own. This weakens public services and ultimately puts them at risk. That's why it's been a long-standing practice of this government to table a provincial budget before the end of the fiscal year. So today, as Tim said, we're tabling a motion that will force the government to table a budget before the end of the fiscal year. If they don't have a plan, they can use our Million Jobs Plan, or they can face a confidence vote. It's up to them. Ontario PC Caucus is willing to put our own jobs on the line and face the electorate in order to get a jobs plan for Ontario's unemployed youth, men and women. The Liberals have already scrambled to get the NDP to agree to a supply motion in order to put off having to bring forward a budget plan. They're putting their own short-term political interests ahead of new jobs for people who need them. We want to see 1 million new jobs in this province. Kathleen Wynne doesn't want to debate that. She's putting off tabling a plan of her own because she knows it will expose her empty rhetoric. Andrea Horwath and the NDP know that the majority of the House, if the majority of the House supports our motion to be debated next Monday, the House leaders will have to then schedule the confidence motion. The ball's in the government's court. Put forward a plan or face a confidence vote. It's that simple.